Lena's hands shake as she smooths the blanket over the baby, whispering a lullaby she hasn't sung aloud in years. The nursery is quiet except for the soft hum of the baby monitor, but even in this silence, her chest is tight with anxiety. Every coo and tiny breath is a reminder of the secret she has carried for years. She rocks him gently, memorizing the curve of his cheek, the little dimple in his chin. Her heart aches with a mixture of pride and terror. He's Alex's son, and Alex doesn't know, not yet, and maybe, she fears, he might never forgive her for keeping him away. The phone vibrates on the nightstand. She glances at the screen. Alex. Lena freezes, thumb hovering over the call. She hasn't spoken to him in over a year, not since the night she left without explanation, carrying the secret that could have destroyed everything. The message is short, almost clinical. We need to talk tonight, my office. Don't be late. Her pulse spikes. She tells herself to breathe, to stay calm. But deep down she knows that tonight, the careful equilibrium she has maintained is about to shatter. Every instinct screams at her to hide, to protect the baby, to deny Alex access to a world he doesn't yet know exists. And yet, part of her aches to let him in, to see if the man she once loved can understand the choices she made, choices that have defined their lives. The elevator ride down feels endless. Lena's mind races through every possible scenario somewhere between hope and dread, knowing full well that one wrong word could ruin everything. She reaches the office floor, stepping into the sterile air scented with ambition and power. Alex is already there, standing behind the desk, posture rigid, eyes scanning her like he's trying to read her soul. Lena, he says, voice low but sharp, thank you for coming. His words are polite, but there's an undercurrent of steel that makes her stomach twist. I got your message, she replies softly, careful to sound calm. Alex doesn't sit. He steps closer, the room shrinking with his presence. Busy, he says, mimicking her usual excuse, a faint smirk playing on his lips. Or hiding something. Lena freezes. The accusation isn't loud, but it cuts deeper than any scream could. She wants to run, to escape, to protect the fragile life waiting at home. But she stays trapped by the gravity of the moment, by the man who once promised her forever and now demands the truth. I don't know what you mean, she whispers. The lie is automatic, but her throat burns with guilt. Alex's eyes soften slightly, just enough to make her question everything. Lena, I've been patient, I thought. Maybe you were afraid. Maybe there was a reason you kept me at arm's length, but I can't ignore this anymore. I need to know. Now. Her chest tightens. The baby's face flashes in her mind. Innocent, trusting, unaware that his very existence could ignite a storm neither of his parents are prepared for. Lena swallows, voice barely audible. I like the kid. Not yet. Alex leans back, exhaling slowly, tension coiling in his shoulders. Not yet. Lena, this isn't just about you, it's about us, about a family, about choices you've been making without me, and I won't let it continue. She wants to scream, to beg him to leave, to shield the child from this collision of worlds. But there's a flicker of something in Alex's softness, a longing that makes her chest ache in ways she hasn't felt in years. She wonders if he would have been a good father if he could understand the sacrifices she made, the sleepless nights, the tiny victories in a life lived in secret. A silence stretches between them, heavy and suffocating. Lena's eyes dart to the floor, tracing patterns in the carpet, pretending to measure something trivial so she doesn't break down. Alex watches her like a hawk, reading every micro-expression, every twitch of tension. I'm not leaving until I know the truth, he says finally, voice a low rumble, resonant with authority and vulnerability. Do you understand me? She nods, barely able to speak, her hands clench at her sides. She's trapped in a web of her own making, knowing that any choice could unravel years of careful concealment. And then, her phone vibrates again. This time, it isn't Alex. Lena's breath catches as she reads the message. I know what you're re-hiding. If you don't come clean, I will. Her fingers tremble over the screen. Someone else knows. Her carefully balanced world is crumbling. And with that realization, Lena feels the walls of her secret life closing in. She knows one thing for certain tonight. Nothing will ever be the same. As she leaves the office, the city lights blur around her, a dizzying swirl of possibility and danger. Each step toward the elevator feels like a countdown, every heartbeat a drum signaling the end of her carefully guarded life. She imagines Alex's face if he learns the truth, the confusion, the anger, the hurt. And yet, beneath the fear, a spark of hope persists, hope that love might survive the revelation. The elevator doors open to the empty street, the chill of night biting at her skin. Lena pulls her coat tighter around her, heart hammering. Somewhere, beyond the glass towers and neon lights, her child waits, sleeping in innocence, unaware of the storm gathering just blocks away. She tells herself to breathe, to think, to plan. But deep down she knows that this is only the beginning. The first piece of the carefully constructed puzzle has shifted, and the rest will follow with unstoppable momentum. And then, just as she steps into the quiet night, a shadow falls across her path, a figure she didn't expect. Lena freezes. Recognition hits her in a rush of terror and disbelief. It's not Alex. It's someone from her past, someone who knows more than they should. And as the figure speaks, the words slice through the night air, sharp and undeniable. "We need to talk about your son." The world tilts. Lena's chest tightens. Every instinct screams to run, but the story she's been writing in silence is colliding with reality. And with that, the first act of her carefully hidden life comes to a terrifying close. Lena walks quickly through the darkened streets, clutching her coat tighter around her. Her mind is a whirlwind of panic and strategy. The stranger's words echo in her ears. "We need to talk about your son." She doesn't recognize the voice, but she knows the implication. Her carefully curated world, built on secrecy and quiet nights, is fraying at the edges. Every shadow on the sidewalk feels like a threat, every passerby a potential observer of the life she has fought to protect. Her phone buzzes again. Another message from Alex. "I have a feeling you're hiding something. Don't make me find out the hard way." Lena's fingers tighten around the device. His words are calm but loaded, each syllable a reminder that he is relentless, determined, and impossibly sharp. She has always admired that about him, even when it terrified her. Now, it threatens the very foundation of the life she has built. By the time she reaches her apartment, the baby stirs in his crib. Lena lifts him gently, feeling the familiar weight against her chest, and whispers, "It's just us, little one, always us." She rocks him slowly, letting the soft rhythm calm her frayed nerves. And yet, the terror of exposure refuses to dissipate. Every creak of the floorboards, every distant siren, is amplified in her mind. She knows she can't ignore the creeping sense that her life is about to change forever. The next morning, Lena walks into her office, trying to appear composed, but the tension in her shoulders is betrayed by the small tremor in her hands as she sips her coffee. She notices the glint of a familiar figure in the lobby. Alex. His presence is casual, almost nonchalant, but she knows better. Every movement, every glance, carries the weight of a man who is observing, calculating, and waiting. "You're here early," she says, forcing a light tone. "I like to start my mornings with a bit of clarity," he replies, voice smooth but loaded with meaning. "Clarity about work, about us, about what you're not telling me." Lena's chest tightens. She knows this is the beginning of a delicate dance. One misstep could unravel years of careful concealment. "I'm just focused on my projects," she says, the lie smooth but brittle. Alex leans against the doorway, arms crossed. Focus is good, avoidance, less so. His gaze pins her, and she feels exposed, as if every thought, every hesitation is laid bare. She shifts, uncomfortably aware that he senses more than she admits. Later that day, she notices subtle changes. A photograph she didn't put on her desk has appeared, a picture of her and Alex at a restaurant years ago. Her hands freeze as she picks it up. Someone is leaving breadcrumbs, testing her, probing for weaknesses. Panic prickles along her spine. She knows that every secret has a way of surfacing, and now, someone is deliberately trying to accelerate that process. At home, the baby is asleep, but Lena cannot rest. She moves quietly through the apartment, double-checking locks, peering out the blinds. Her mind races with possibilities. Who could know? How did they find out? And most importantly, what will happen if Alex learns the truth before she is ready? Her phone buzzes again. Another anonymous message. Secrets have a way of catching up. Don't wait until it's too late. Lena's hands shake as she drops the phone onto the couch. The weight of her double life presses down on her like a physical force, and she realizes that she can no longer control the narrative. Her carefully constructed world is slipping through her fingers. The next evening, Alex shows up at her apartment unannounced. Lena's heart pounds as she opens the door. He doesn't smile, doesn't apologize for barging in. Instead, he simply steps inside, surveying the space with a familiarity that is both comforting and terrifying. "We need to talk," he says, voice low, almost intimate. "You can't keep avoiding this. Not me, not your life, not him." Lena freezes. Her mind screams at her to hide, to fabricate, to deflect. But Alex's presence is magnetic, pulling at every unresolved emotion she has buried over the years. "You don't understand," she whispers. "It's not that simple." Alex steps closer, lowering his voice to a whisper. "Try me, Lena, because I'm done being in the dark. And if there's a child involved, I want to know." Her breath catches. The words hang between them like a charged wire, ready to snap. She feels the impossible weight of decision pressing down. Reveal the truth and risk losing control, or continue the deception and risk losing him entirely. Before she can respond, there's a knock at the door. Lena's heart stops. Her hands tremble as she moves to answer, but Alex is faster, stepping in front of her. "I'll handle this," he says, voice calm but commanding. The door opens to reveal the stranger from the street. Lena's pulse races as the figure steps inside, eyes cold and assessing. "We need to talk about your son," the stranger repeats, more insistently this time. Lena's stomach twists in fear. This person knows more than they should, and Alex's expression changes. He senses it too. The tension in the room is palpable. Alex glances at Lena, searching her face for answers, and she realizes she cannot hide anything from him anymore. Every instinct screams to protect the child, to shield him from this collision of adult worlds, but she knows the truth is inevitable. "You're lying to me," Alex says suddenly, voice low and dangerous, and I'm done guessing. Tell me everything, Lena, now. Lena feels her knees weaken. The weight of years of secrecy, the fear of judgment, the anxiety of exposure, all converge in a single, suffocating moment. She opens her mouth to speak, but words fail her. The stranger steps closer, hand resting casually on the edge of a folder she doesn't recognize, but she knows it contains evidence, proof of her secret life. Her mind races, desperate for an escape, a way to maintain control. But Alex's eyes are unwavering, and the stranger's presence is unyielding. Lena realizes that tonight, nothing will remain hidden. The fragile walls of her carefully built life are crumbling, and she is powerless to stop it. The baby stirs in his crib upstairs, unaware that his existence is about to ignite a storm neither parent is prepared for. Lena's chest tightens with fear and longing simultaneously. She knows that the moment she speaks, nothing will ever be the same. And then, with deliberate calm, the stranger opens the folder. Inside are photos of Lena with her son taken without her knowledge. Alex's eyes widen as he takes in the images, realization dawning. Lena steps back, voice barely audible. I didn't want you to know like this. Alex's jaw tightens, anger, confusion, and betrayal all mingling in a storm behind his eyes. The stranger closes the folder with a soft click, leaving a silence that presses down on the room like a physical weight. Lena's mind races, heart pounding, because she knows that this is only the beginning. The tension is unbearable. She knows that tonight, everything changes. And as Alex turns his gaze fully toward her, the question hangs in the air, electric and unrelenting. Will he forgive her, or will this secret destroy everything? Lena can barely breathe. The stranger's folder sits on the coffee table like a ticking bomb, photos of her son staring back at her as if accusing her. Alex leans against the wall, jaw tight, his eyes scanning each image with a mix of disbelief and hurt that twists her chest. She wants to reach for him, to explain, to beg, but words stick in her throat. Every instinct tells her that the moment she opens her mouth, the fragile control she's maintained for years will vanish completely. You're lying, Alex says, voice low but sharp. You've been living a life without me knowing. And now I'm supposed to just accept this. His tone isn't just anger, it's betrayal, confusion, longing, all tangled into one explosive force. Lena wants to tell him, I did it to protect him. I did it to protect you. I did it to protect us. But the words feel hollow under the weight of his gaze. Before she can respond, her phone vibrates violently. She glances at the screen. Another anonymous message. You can't hide forever. He deserves to know. Lena drops the phone, heart pounding. Her world feels smaller, suffocating, every secret pressing in from every angle. She realizes that the stranger isn't alone in knowing her secret. Someone else is watching, waiting, and willing to expose everything. Alex steps closer. Lena, look at me. His voice softens just enough to fracture her defenses. She lifts her eyes to his, and in them, she sees the man she once loved, the man who would have fought beside her, who might have been gentle, who might have understood if she had trusted him. Her throat tightens. I wanted you to be the father I knew you could be, she thinks, but it stays locked inside. The stranger clears his throat. I can't stay here long, but I suggest you start thinking seriously about your choices. Lena, secrets like yours have consequences. Lena flinches. Consequences. The word reverberates through the room, and suddenly every sleepless night, every hidden meal, every quiet lullaby sung alone feels like a countdown to disaster. Alex's gaze flickers between Lena and the stranger. Who are you? He demands. The stranger smirks faintly, as if enjoying the tension. Let's just say I have a vested interest in the truth coming out. Without another word, they turn and walk toward the door, leaving Lena trembling. The door closes with a sharp click that feels like the final nail in her fragile sense of security. Alone with Alex, Lena finally speaks, voice barely audible. I didn't want you to know like this. I didn't want anyone to. Alex cuts her off. Stop, I need the truth, Lena. Not fragments, not excuses. The truth. Who else knows? Her hands shake. Every instinct screams to protect her son, to hide the truth, to preserve what little peace remains. But she also knows that Alex will find out eventually. Maybe not tonight, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. She swallows hard. I don't know how much they know, but yes, someone else does, and I didn't want it to happen this way. Alex runs a hand through his hair, frustration and anguish battling in his expression. Lena, you've been living in shadows while I've been left in the dark. And now he pauses, voice faltering for the briefest moment. Now you're telling me I have no say in a life that's mine too. Her chest tightens, tears threatening to spill. She wants to scream, to run, to gather her son in her arms and disappear from the world entirely. But Alex's presence, the weight of his gaze, and the flicker of love still buried deep inside her make her freeze. Hours pass in tense silence, punctuated only by the soft hum of the city outside. Lena and Alex sit across from each other, a chasm of secrets between them, both unsure how to cross it without shattering completely. Every glance, every subtle movement, is laden with unspoken emotion. The air feels charged, heavy with the weight of all the choices that have led them here. Later that night, Lena checks the baby monitor obsessively. She can hear him breathing softly, a lullaby of innocence she has fought to preserve. But even in this small moment of peace, fear gnaws at her. The stranger's words replay in her mind, echoing like a drumbeat. Consequences, and Lena knows, deep down, that the consequences are only beginning. Suddenly, a sharp knock at the window jolts her. Heart racing, she moves toward it cautiously, eyes wide. The city lights glint off the glass, and a shadow moves just outside. Lena freezes, her mind racing. Another threat, another person watching. She doesn't know who or why, but the message is clear. Her life, her choices, her son, none of it is safe. Alex, who had been silent in the corner, steps forward. "You've been protecting something," he says, voice low and dangerous. "But the world isn't going to wait for you to decide what's safe. I'm not going to wait either." Lena feels a mix of fear and longing. She wants to tell him everything, to finally invite him into the world she's kept hidden. But the fear of losing control, of losing her son, grips her heart. Alex, her words falter. He takes a step closer, lowering his voice. "Lena, I don't care how complicated it is. I just need to know I'm part of it. That I have a chance to be his father. That I can be part of your life." For a moment, hope flickers inside her, a dangerous, fragile hope, but it's quickly overshadowed by the realization that they are not alone. Secrets have a way of surfacing, and someone out there is ready to exploit hers. Then the phone buzzes again. Lena's blood runs cold. Another anonymous message lights up the screen. "Tonight, it all comes out. Choose carefully." Her hands shake as she stares at the words. Her heart pounds like a drum. She knows that tonight will not end quietly. That someone, somewhere, is ready to expose everything she's tried to protect. And in that moment, Lena understands the terrifying truth. The life she has built in shadows is about to collide with the world in a way she cannot control. Alex's gaze meets hers, steady, unyielding, filled with both determination and longing. "We face this together," he says, almost a whisper, "or it tears us apart. There's no other way." Lena swallows hard, her mind racing through possibilities. She knows the truth could either bind them together or destroy everything, and as she looks at Alex, she realizes that the coming storm will demand decisions she has been avoiding for years, and that the choice she makes tonight will define all their lives forever. The room falls silent. The baby stirs upstairs. Outside, the city waits, oblivious, while a carefully guarded secret teeters on the edge of revelation. Lena knows the first move must come from her, but the question that burns hotter than fear is this: will she trust Alex, or will she protect her son at all costs, even if it means losing the man she loves? And just as she opens her mouth to speak, the front door bursts open. Another figure steps inside, a shadow from her past, someone connected to the stranger, someone who knows far too much. Lena's heart stops, their eyes lock, and the words that follow slice through the room like a knife. "It is time. He knows everything." The front door slams shut behind the stranger, and Lena's stomach twists into knots. Alex steps forward, eyes narrowed, fists clenched. "Who is this?" His voice isn't just questioning, it's a force of raw emotion, a mix of anger, hurt, and desperation that shakes Lena to her core. The stranger, calm and deliberate, sets the folder on the table. "I'm the reason your little secret won't stay buried," they say softly. Their gaze flicks to Alex, "and it's time you knew the truth about the child you don't yet realize is yours." Alex freezes, the words striking him like lightning. Lena can feel the tension radiating off him in waves, sharp enough to cut. Her chest tightens. Every instinct screams at her to stop him, to protect her son, to shield him from this confrontation. But she knows it's too late. The truth is out. It's always been just one step away from revelation. Alex turns his gaze fully on Lena. "Lena, tell me everything now. No lies, no evasions." His voice is lower, more dangerous, but threaded with longing. Every word pulls at her, a tether between fear and hope. She takes a shaky breath, eyes brimming with unshed tears. "Alex, I kept him hidden because I thought it was safer. For both of you. I didn't trust anyone, not the world, not you, not myself, to handle the truth." Her voice breaks, the confession spilling out after years of silence. He's your son. I've been raising him in secret." For a moment, silence stretches, thick and suffocating. Alex stares at her, frozen, as if the words themselves are incomprehensible. Then, slowly, his face contorts, first in disbelief, then shock, then a storm of emotions that crash over him like waves. "You, what?" His voice trembles, barely audible. "You had a child, and didn't tell me." "I didn't know how to tell you," she admits, tears streaming freely now. "I was scared. Scared you'd leave. Scared you'd hate me. Scared that if I let you in, I'd lose him, or worse, I'd lose us." Alex paces the room, fists clenching, jaw tight. "Us, Lena. This isn't about us. This is about a life that I had no say in. A life I could have been part of." His voice rises, cracking under the weight of anger and heartbreak. "Do you have any idea what it's like to learn that you've been robbed of fatherhood without knowing it, without even the chance to choose?" Lena flinches, guilt and fear threatening to drown her. "I thought I was protecting him. Protecting us. I couldn't risk your career, your life, our future. I thought I was doing the right thing." Alex stops, breathing heavily, eyes locked on her. His shoulders slump for a moment, a flash of vulnerability breaking through the storm of anger. Do you even understand how much this hurts? His voice softens, almost a whisper now. Do you know how much I would have given to hold him, to be there for him? She steps closer, desperate. Alex, I never stopped thinking about you, about him. Every day I've been choosing him, but I've been thinking of you too. I didn't want to hurt you. I wanted to protect you both. Alex closes his eyes, his hands running through his hair, protecting or hiding, because it feels like hiding. It feels like you built a wall between me and my own son, and now his voice falters. Now I don't even know where to begin. The stranger clears their throat, interrupting the electric tension. The child deserves to know his father. That's why I'm here. You can't shield him from this forever. Lena looks at the folder, her mind racing. She knows it contains evidence, proof of her secret life. If Alex sees it now, the shock will be unbearable. But she also realizes that the truth, once partial and hidden, is now inevitable. Alex's eyes flick to the folder. What's in there? He asks, voice taut with suspicion and anticipation. Lena swallows hard. Everything you need to know, but please, wait until I can explain. He shakes his head, frustration boiling over. No more waiting, Lena. I'm done being in the dark. The moment for explanations is now or it's too late. Lena's chest tightens. She can feel the weight of the decision pressing down, a storm about to break. She knows that revealing everything could either bind them together or destroy the fragile remnants of their relationship forever. Taking a deep breath, she opens the folder. Inside are photos, medical records, and moments she has captured alone with her son, evidence of the life she's built in secret. Alex flips through them, each image slicing into him a visceral punch of shock, disbelief, and overwhelming love. Is this him? Alex asks, voice barely above a whisper. Lena nods, tears spilling freely. My son, our son, she murmurs. Alex's knees weaken slightly as the realization hits him, a tidal wave of emotions crashing at once. I have a son. His voice cracks, a mixture of awe, heartbreak, and longing. He looks at Lena, eyes glistening. Why didn't you trust me? I wanted to, she whispers. I wanted you to be ready. I wanted you to choose this life freely, to love him without fear, to choose me. Alex steps closer, voice trembling. And now, I have no choice. Lena shakes her head, her hands trembling as she reaches for him. You do always, but the choice is yours, Alex. You can walk away, or you can fight for him. For us, he pauses, staring at her with a mix of longing and fury. I don't know if I can forgive you. I don't know if I can process this. His voice is raw, vulnerable, broken. But I do know one thing. I want him in my life. Somehow, I want to be his father. Lena's chest tightens with relief and terror. She knows that the moment he chooses to embrace this reality, their lives will change forever. But the storm isn't over. Outside, the world is waiting. Rumors, judgments, and the shadowy figure who set tonight in motion are all circling. Alex takes her hand, tentative but firm. We do this together, he says. No more secrets, no more hiding. But Lena, I need to know that you'll let me in completely. She nods, tears streaming, heart racing. I will, I promise. But just as the tension begins to soften, the stranger steps back, voice low and deliberate. Remember, this is only the beginning. Secrets like yours have consequences, and someone else is watching, waiting. Soon they'll force your hand. Lena feels a chill. She glances at Alex, who looks at her with a mixture of hope and determination. They are united, at least for now, but the world outside their walls threatens to tear them apart. And in that moment, Lena realizes the terrifying truth. The choices they make tonight will define the rest of their lives. There is no turning back. The first rays of dawn filter through the blinds, painting the apartment in soft gold. Lena sits on the couch, her hands trembling as she rocks the baby gently. Alex stands nearby, a mug of coffee in his hands, watching silently. The tension that had gripped the room for days lingers, but it's tempered now with a fragile sense of possibility. The baby stirs and reaches out a tiny hand. Lena places his hand in Alex's heart, swelling as she watches his first tentative interaction with the boy who has always been his son. Alex looks down, eyes widening as he takes in the small fingers curling around his own. He's amazing, Alex whispers, voice breaking with awe. Lena swallows hard. He's ours, she says softly, and for the first time in years, she allows herself to believe that they might survive this storm together. Alex kneels, face level with the child, trying to memorize every detail. I don't want to miss a single moment, he murmurs. I promise I'll be there for him, every step. Tears prick Lena's eyes. The weight she has carried, the fear, the loneliness, the secrecy begins to lift, replaced by a tentative hope. She finally allows herself to imagine a life where Alex is not just a memory, not just a shadow, but a real partner in the chaos of parenthood. But the calm is short-lived. The stranger's words from the previous night echo in her mind. Someone else is watching, waiting. Soon they'll force your hand. She glances at Alex, who notices her sudden shift in expression. What is it? He asks, concern knitting his brows. Lena hesitates, then shakes her head. It's nothing, just someone from the past, someone who might complicate things. Alex frowns but doesn't press further. He's learned, over the last few days, that pushing won't help. Instead, he reaches out, taking her hand in his. Then we face it together, he says firmly. Whatever comes, we handle it. No secrets this time. No running. Lena nods, heart hammering. For the first time, she feels that Alex is truly committed not just to her, but to their son, to the fragile family they are beginning to form. Hours later, the apartment fills with life. The baby giggles, Alex coos, and Lena laughs softly, the sound almost foreign after years of isolation and fear. It's a small miracle, this slice of normalcy, and Lena clings to it like a lifeline. Yet the world outside their walls refuses to wait. A knock at the door interrupts their fragile peace. Lena's heart skips a beat. She looks at Alex, who moves cautiously to open it. A courier stands there, holding a small envelope. Alex takes it, frowning at the lack of sender information. He opens it slowly. Inside are photographs, new photos, taken recently. Images of the baby playing in the park, of Lena carrying him through crowded streets. Moments Alex had never seen. Someone's watching us, Lena whispers, dread curling in her stomach. Alex's jaw tightens. Then we adapt. We protect him. We stay ahead. His gaze softens as he looks at Lena. But we do it together always. Lena nods, a bittersweet smile touching her lips. They may be under threat, their lives scrutinized by unknown forces. But for the first time, she doesn't have to bear it alone. The weight of secrecy has lifted, replaced by shared responsibility and a tentative, precious trust. Days turn into weeks. Alex becomes a presence in their daily lives, not just as a figure in photographs or fleeting texts, but in the quiet, ordinary moments, reading bedtime stories, making breakfast, wiping tiny tears, and learning the rhythm of fatherhood. Lena watches him with a mixture of relief and awe. He stumbles, he makes mistakes, but he loves fiercely, without hesitation. One evening, as the city lights glitter outside, Lena sits with Alex and the baby on the couch, the warmth of family cocooning them. "You're really here," she murmurs, voice thick with emotion. "I'm here," Alex replies, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "I don't want to miss a single moment, and I don't want to miss you either." Lena leans against him, a fragile smile breaking through years of fear and tension. The baby's laughter fills the room, a sound that is both joy and balm for her soul. And for the first time, Lena allows herself to believe that the future, uncertain, unpredictable, and dangerous as it may be, can be theirs, together. But just as peace settles, her phone buzzes. A single message flashes on the screen. "We'll meet soon. The past isn't done with you yet." Lena swallows hard, heart racing, but Alex is there beside her, steady and unyielding. "We face it," he says firmly, eyes locked on hers. "Whatever comes." Lena nods, and for the first time in years, she feels something she hasn't allowed herself to feel. Hope. Theirs is a family forged in secrets, love, and sacrifice. And while challenges remain, for now they are together, ready to face the world, one day at a time. The camera would linger on their small, imperfect family, a man learning to be a father, a woman learning to trust again, and a child whose life has already reshaped theirs forever. The city hums beyond the walls, filled with uncertainty, danger, and possibility. But inside, the warmth of their newfound family glows like a fragile, unbreakable light. And as the screen fades, the last thought lingers. Secrets can shape lives. But love, fierce, complicated, and relentless, can endure even the harshest storm.